I was born and raised on the farm where Moses Doan was supposedly buried. I've been there on the farm all my life, but that's where the stone was when I was old enough to walk, and when we worked the ground, it wasn't a big landmark to us because there it is. We plowed the field and there's a stone. We turn around, go down the field again, come back up again, or whatever, make hay. You just went on by it like it was never. You didn't even see it. I mean, but it'd be nice if it could be. If it could be preserved, that it would always be there.
And in any given week, we'll have several people come visit the graves, and we're happy to have them visit and to answer any questions that they have. The 5 brothers who were the core of the Doan Gang were not members of our meeting, and certainly their behavior is antithetical to Quaker values. So if you talk to any one Quaker or Quakers, one person can't speak for everybody, but I would imagine that there are varying degrees of comfort or discomfort with that connection and those overlapping histories.
Being the 12th generation, you tend to look back at each one of those other Doans that came before you to see what they might be like and how maybe you're still somewhat similar, no matter how much time has passed. And you do find some interesting attitudes, I think. If Joseph Jr. hadn't have passed into Canada, I wouldn't be here.
So my entire life, there was a portrait that hung in our dining room, and it was the portrait of Captain William McCalla, who is my 5th great-grandfather. It wasn't until a year and a half ago when we had the Mercer Museum folks come up and take a look at some antiques that we were looking to rehome, and they saw the portrait and asked, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "Yes, it's my 5th great-grandfather. Do you know who that is?" He was appointed to track down, capture the Doan Gang after all of the terrible things that they were purported to have done.
My 5th great-grandfather was John Tomlinson, a part of the Doan Gang. He was at least 20 years older, from what I understand, than most of the other gang members. So he wouldn't actively participate in their robberies, but again, from what I have learned and understand, he planned most of them.
I'd say we should try to be comfortable with a certain degree of uncertainty and ambiguity and complexity, and not be in a hurry to pin labels. Labels might depend on who won or what your perspective is. In the meantime, I think we can enjoy the story that we have.
Every once in a while, I'll run into somebody who thinks that, oh my gosh, those Doan Gang people, they were just despicable characters. They just, but really they were trying to survive like everybody else. And those were tough times. And I actually look at the Revolutionary War as a civil war. There were different attitudes about where they wanted the country to go. And so people died, plain and simple.
And the fact that my ancestor was tasked to find and capture them makes me view them more through the lens of they were bad guys and we were good guys. Whether or not that's true, of course, no one's ever going to know because we can't go back in time. But I would definitely put them on the wrong side of the ledger.
And it's interesting how strong family ties can be, even with somebody that lived, a couple hundred years ago. I do find myself feeling like I want to defend him. So blood is thicker than water, right?
But I'm thrilled. I'm very happy that it's here, that it does something for the history of the county. It's not all good, but it's history.